All right, everybody, coming back from the break. My name is Rex Perry. I'm the host and creator of the Business to Business Network show. Every week, we bring on different companies, different businesses to talk about what they do and how they help the economy of Maricopa County. And our next guest is Adrienne. Adrienne, give us your last name. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Mitra, and I'm the owner of Celebrations International Travel.
And give us a little bit of your background. How'd you get started in the travel business?
Well, I started out in the realm of adoption travel. We helped families who were traveling to adopt in various destinations, and it grew from there.
Now, just real quickly, though, a lot of people don't, I don't know if it's still that popular, but people would go to Russia years ago, back in the 80s and 90s. They would go to Korea, Japan, Asia, China sometimes to adopt beautiful little children because it was actually an easier situation than sometimes here in the United States. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and it kind of just depends on the situation. People have all kinds of reasons why they choose different adoption situations, and we saw a need, and that was a niche that we filled at the time. That's
clever. And so you would line up where they would stay, their transportation, especially if they're picking up a baby or a child, and have accommodations to be able to take care of them. So you're a logistics detail person.
Yes, I am. Yeah, we did airfare around the world as well as ground arrangements in their destinations.
Now you've evolved out of that. Describe the very tailored business that you do now for travel. Describe that for the audience.
Yeah, so what we focus on these days is custom travel arrangements for our clients. And when we speak of customization, we take it to the degree that the client wants it to be. Some people want to be handheld every moment of their travels, and other people kind of just want to do their own thing. But it's always nice to have things already in place for you so that you don't have to worry about anything while you're traveling.
Okay, so let's talk. I had a wonderful time on my vacation with my wife, but we happened to be with a tour group. We went to Italy, and one of the challenges, and she complained about, was we went to the Colosseum. And it was, because we were with a big group, it was kind of in and then out because we had to get going. And she was saying, gosh, I would have really liked to explore that a little bit more and not feel so rushed. So a lot of people are going online. They're clicking the button for these tours, but they don't know explain that to educate the audience on what they get sometimes.
So when you book online, first thing is I'm going to be the first person to tell you that you can get a great deal online, but it better be either a point-to-point, real simple thing, or a couple of hotel nights. Anything more than that, if you have a reason to call the 800 number, and ask a question, or you need help solving a problem, that person does not know you, does not know your needs, and frankly does not care whether they solve your
You're
problem.
You're not going to get any help.
Either way, they're going, click and they're on to the next call. So now how we would solve the dilemma that you just described with the Colosseum is that there are umpteen different ways that someone can visit the Colosseum. And depending on what they want and what their interests are, there are some versions of Colosseum visits where you can actually walk on the Colosseum floor.
In the arena.
Yes,
wow.
The same place where the gladiators once fought. Or there are other versions where you might be taken underneath the Colosseum.
Where they kept all the animals and the gladiators. Ooh, we've seen the movies. but you have to know the people. You have to have the right contacts to get a chance to do that, right?
Yeah, and it's really up to the individual traveler. We like to say that we customize everything for each individual traveler and for their needs for that particular trip.
Now, you've got a couple cool stories. First of all, let's talk about the wedding in Scotland. Tell us about that story.
Okay, so I have a client who called me and said, Adrienne, will you please help me before my friends make a mess? So he was the best man at a friend's wedding. The friend had rented out a castle in a remote area of Scotland.
A Scottish castle for the wedding. Everybody trying to envision that. Does that sound great or what? Keep going.
Yeah, so basically you're in the middle of nowhere, but you have this huge castle.
Yeah.
The bride and groom had chosen a location, but the client who called me, the best man, was trying to get four couples who live in four different cities to all go to this remote Scottish castle. Except that it wasn't that simple because each couple wanted to do their own thing before and after, and they were kind of picking at each other about how to do it.
Mm.
And so my client, who called me for help, he was simply afraid that everybody was going to make a mess. And so what we did to iron this out and make things smooth for everyone is that it required us to get information from each couple. What do you each want? And ultimately, it required 4 separate cars bringing people to a central location. 2 of the couples had to stay overnight in order to wait for the second 2 couples to come and join them. And then another car that could accommodate.
Like a van.
No,
Bus?
we're actually talking about a stretch limo.
Oh, a stretch limo.
Yep.
Wow.
And then a separate car to hold all their luggage.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, this is logistics. And then they had to all get in there and drive to, which was quite remote, this castle was.
Yes, and they had to be there by a certain day and time because of the wedding and all that jazz. And so, and then after the wedding, the whole thing about getting everybody out of there was not exactly the whole
So
operation.
did they spend the night there at the castle, or was it a sleeping castle, or just for the wedding event?
Oh no, they slept
slept-
for the time that they had the castle rented out. They slept there.
Wow. Airbnb castle, Scotland. Does that sound fun? Okay, now you have another really cool story. Tell us about the one that went to Normandy.
Oh, Normandy, that was a client who told me that his grandfather was a soldier at the D-Day landing.
Oh my gosh, the invade. Oh, anybody seen Private Ryan? This is their story. Keep going.
Yeah, and so he was talking to me about wanting to trace his grandfather's footsteps. And so normally when someone wants to visit the D-Day landing beaches, we just do a simple day tour from Paris. In this case, that didn't suffice. So they flew to Paris. We had them spend the night in Paris. They did a sightseeing tour that night to kind of get a feel for what the City of Lights means. The next morning, a private car took them to a chateau in Normandy that is a hotel. They had the afternoon free to explore. They had a list of things they wanted to see and do. The next day was a full organized sightseeing tour where they got to visit 3 beaches. They got to see the American Cemetery. He got to go and find his grandfather's name on the wall.
What a trip of a life, and just connections and gratitude for those men and women that fought for our freedom. And anyway, chokes you up a little bit. So let's get a phone number. How can people reach you? Because if you're out there, if you're doing business travel, any type of travel, how do they reach you, Adrienne?
By email, info@celebrationsinternationaltravel.com, or by phone 480-272-6020.
One more time, the phone number.
480-272-6020.
Adrienne, thanks for coming down, and we really want to help get the word out because a lot of people don't know that you can tailor your travel, and a lot of times that's what people need, especially if you're trying to work out the logistics of gathering to people. That really needs your help. We really appreciate you. Got the sound coming up, meaning the music's saying time for a break. Everybody stay tuned. We're going to be right back.